First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to our power Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah HaKodash, and double honors to our apostles and bishops of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. And salutations to our prophets and beloved brothers continue to exhort the sheep in these last days, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth. To you I say Shalom, Shalom. The title of this epistle is going to be entitled, A Change Gon' Come. A change is gonna come. The inspiration for this epistle initially came with listening to the song A Change is Gonna Come by Sam Cooke. It's one of my favorite songs. I like to sing along to the song and think that I am in one with Sam Cooke as he's emotionally portraying this inspiring melody of a time where all the calamity and all the varying changes going on at that time is going to come to pass, and in a brighter future. And then in the likes of listening to the end of that song, I was also inspired by Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, which is also another inspirational song called "Wake Up, Wake Up, Everybody, No More Sleeping in Bed." It goes into taking account to how society and times have changed and how they're regressing. They're not progressing, but they're regressing. And this is why the title of this epistle is going to be entitled "A Change is Going to Come," because as we look through the biblical lens of the prophetic timeline, itching closer to the kingdom to come, the transition period from now until then, it comes with a lot of changes, right? It's going to be a fall of a European power, Esau, Edom, who has been in rulership and full dominion over the planet Earth for quite some time now, ruling in military might and deception and with war crimes against humanity. All things are being brought up to the forefront of the ministry of the prophets in charging the wicked of the earth and proclaiming justice and liberty unto, first and foremost, chiefly to the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called indigenous Negro, Latino, and others dispersed from the Semitic bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I'm going to open up with copyright disclaimer under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. I make no monetary gain for any of these videos that I include in the educational lesson here, but it's just to bring forth some edification and tying in biblical scriptures to the timeline of events and other things. So with that being said, let's go into our lesson here. So what you see pulled up on the screen here is a okay, has to great. 1 second.
You having a nice day,
decided
sir?
to
You feeling
load
all right?
on itself.
You having a nice
Okay,
day,
no
sir?
problemo. Let's go here. Let's go here. Okay, so I got that loaded up. We're gonna grab our verse here. Okay, all praise to the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So what you see up on the screen up at the top here is the karaoke version of Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes with the lyrics on screen. So as I am bringing forth scriptures, you can read along. And what the song here, the melodic song, is bringing forth to the listener, right? Because we have plenty of historical context to support scriptures through the available resources that we still have, right? And particularly the Holy Bible, the Hebrew Bible, the Israelite Bible is first and foremost an archives of our historical texts, right? And it brings forth the history and all these judgments that came upon us as a nation of people, and while we are dispersed into the four corners of the earth, which also brings out the historical understanding of the slave trades, and how all these things came about, right? The building up nations, and why a nation of people has never received, the benefits of those works, and it just brings forth all these contexts. So a change is going to come. This is the fall of Esau, Edom, the European powers that be, and all the other powers that had their hand in these iniquities, these crimes against humanity, against the oppression of the people. We're using the context of all the things that support our testimony, right? We can use movies, right? There's movies that are made about, the slaves and so on and so forth. There's music like what we have up on here. And then again, we have the Bible archives and historical context to showcase, these oppressive historical things that happened unto us as a nation. So I'll play this. Maybe I'll just lower it a little bit. Yeah, I'll play that in the background here. And we'll jump right in. Isaiah chapter 14, and we'll start at verse 3. And it says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy trouble, and from the hard service wherein thou was made to serve. Thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon, and say, How hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. And Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked, the scepters of the rulers, that smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, that ruled the nations in anger, with a persecution that none restrained. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing." So when you hear the righteous cry out for the injustices that has been done to our people, and more so the environment and the planet Earth, we're crying out for righteousness, because no one is going to stop these cancerous, wicked individuals from continuing to stifle life, where they hoard up resources and oppress the people in full measure, because they have the power of the law to subscribe law, right? And so the Heavenly Father, His righteousness is going to rain down from the heavens to put an end to all this wickedness, and where it's going to restore the children of Israel into full power and reigning in righteousness, right? A change is going to come. A change is going to come, right? For centuries, the world has been in chaos, right? Wars, crimes against humanity, like we already talked about, socially engineering the masses to bring reform under oppression, right? Under these authoritative regulations, and, building up a strong wall of supporters and giving them the power of law to suppress the people. We're talking about your strong arming. And we have the history to support all these things, right? So a change is going to come, and the Heavenly Father is going to put an end to all this wickedness, right? As you can see on the screen, the world won't get no better if we just let it be, right? So the Heavenly Father is going to recompense all these nations for what they have done, continuing to hunt us down, right? These colonial empires, these colonial powers that be. Let's go to Micah. We'll go to Micah chapter 2. And we'll get it from the top here. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and seize them, and houses, and take them away. And they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage." Right? They have a history of continuously colonizing through deceit and their legislations, right? Their decrees, their pacts that they make with people, they break them. They do not uphold the right hand of righteousness, but they practice deceit because it's in the power of their hand to do so. And the Heavenly Father has recorded all these iniquities, and those that have upheld his power are going to come tumbling down as well when he does make his move, the Heavenly Father, right? So through their military strength, war tactics, and deceit, they overthrow countries, and they steal resources. They steal homes, lands. These things are being set up all around us as we speak right now. They're setting up a digital infrastructure, and the world powers that be are all joining hand in hand to oppress the people further, right? They have these flock cameras or whatever they are being implemented, a mass surveillance system, data centers. The people, they understand what's going on around them, right? And us that are in the know, we see these things coming to pass because we measure out the time diligently in itself according to scriptures. And we are looking with our heads up and peering outwards towards the future, no longer finding rest and refuge in a system that continues to oppress and fail the people through deceit and vanity. With circus and popcorns, they quiet the masses down for a time, and this is why they have this periodic cyclical thing where they have Super Bowls and footballs and baseballs and all these other events and wrestling and concerts and all this folly, so people continuously just get fed, scratch their bellies, and let things go on as normal. But those that are waking up to what these things ultimately bring about are not playing the game anymore, right? We're tapping out. This is no good for life, right? They covet fields and seize them and houses, and they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage, right? They destroy heritages by forcing assimilation to either partake in the system that be, or you opt out and you end up being outcast of society, right? You either partake in what we got going on, or you become the enemy, right? Let's go into, this is not going to be a long lesson. Habakkuk. Let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, and we'll pick it up from verse 4. I'm going to run this back so you can still read. Right? Okay, Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 4. It reads, "Behold, his soul is puffed up. It is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." Right? This is our lifeline. We don't lean on the system to continue to take care of us, keep us fed, and furthermore, anything, we lean on the Heavenly Father. Now that we have woken up to who we are and our identity, we know that if we obey and keep his word and guard his word and walk there in it and fear the Heavenly Father as to not transgress or, succumb to fear or anything like that, filled with anxiety, that he's going to provide all the necessary things that we need to continue in order to persevere and have that hope of entering into that rest, the kingdom to come, right? Behold, his soul is puffed up. His soul is puffed up. It is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. These individuals, these proud individuals that continue to believe that life is going to go on as normal and they're going to always prosper in their craft, they're going to be outmaneuvered and overthrown by the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. He says, "Yea, moreover, wine is a treacherous dealer, a haughty man, and that keepeth not at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and he is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all peoples." Right? They through their what do you call that? Their marketing campaigns, and their strong speeches against the people, believing that there's freedom and liberty in what they have to offer. You know, they magnify these theatrical dreams on billboards and in movies and stuff like that. People believe they can have a better life leaving their home and then coming into the great whore of Babylon so they can live a prosperous life. But it's a snare ultimately unto these people, because there is a framework being set up around them, and they're enticed by the lust of the flesh and what Esau, Edom, and these colonists have offered. And in return, you sell your soul, right? And he is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all peoples, and heapeth unto him all peoples. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him? Right? This is that proverb that we read about in Isaiah chapter 14, where we will take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Right? These people are just genuine thieves. Right? The thief come not to he says, the thief come but to steal, kill, and destroy. John 10:10. How long? And that ladeth himself with pledges. Right? They try to offer you a good word, and they come in the name of peace, but inward they're ravenous wolves, right? And they laded himself with pledges, right? They make all these oaths and pledges. We're going to do this for the people. We're going to do that for the people. They're going to live happily ever after. They're going to prosper. We're going to come together. We're going to come together. We're going to unify. We're going to come together, and we're just going to be one big happy family, and we're just going to live in freedom and justice for all, right? No, that's a damn lie. Shall they not rise up suddenly, that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? And thou shalt be for the booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for the violence done to the land, to the city, and to all that dwelled therein. Woe to him that getteth an evil gain for his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the hand of evil. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many peoples, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood, and establish a city by iniquity. Right? They're doing it right now with these data centers. They're establishing a town buildeth a town with blood. Right? They're forcing their strong arm, their power, in order to subvert others using these wicked schemes, right? Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. They're establishing this new world order by iniquity, right? Because, they wake up and they dream about this. They take counsel with each other to overthrow the majority, the masses, so they can continue to still live in life lavishly. Behold, it is not of Yahweh of hosts that the people labor for the fire, and the nations weary themselves for vanity, right? We're doing that now, day in and day out, work for nothing. Everything is way too expensive just to live, right? This is what the system has ultimately concluded to become, right? This is ultimately what happened when through the fall of the children of Israel, death has consumed the earth, and greed and lust and everything has overtaken, the people and society. The beast systems have overtaken the people this way. They worry themselves for vanity. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of Yahweh power, as the waters cover the sea. Now all these things are coming to the surface, because this is the time when the people are going to start waking up, and particularly the children of the Most High Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, and bringing forth this understanding, tying all these things together prophetically for the things to come, right? I'll run this back one more time. This should be the last time, right? So let's get our next verse, Isaiah. Let's go into Isaiah. Wake up, everybody, I'm all sleeping in bed. Isaiah 10, right here. Boom, let's go here. Let's start from verse 1. Isaiah chapter 10 from the top. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, right? That's all they do is they pass unrighteous decrees, and you can see it on the on these cable networks. You know, you got one party sitting on this side screaming at the other party over here and them asking for money. It's just a big show. It's a big show. It's a theatrical show, but it has real life consequences because people feed into this and they put in their hand in with iniquity to give them power and legislation over the people, right? They have their hand in this. They're not guilty, right? When you support an oppressive regime, you are accountable for upholding those laws and legislations as well, right? Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and to the writers that write perverseness, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right of the poor of my people, that widows may be their spoil, and that they may make the fatherless their prey. You know, these are wicked, wicked people. And what will you do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from afar? To whom will you flee for help? This is, you know, the Heavenly Father asking the wicked, where are you going to get your help from when he comes on the day of visitation? And where will you leave your glory? They shall only bow down under the prisoners, and shall fall under the slain. For all his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still, right? He's going to make a recompense for all these things, right? The elites are going to have to ante up. They're going to have to answer for these things. Ho, Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, the staff in whose hand is mine indignation. I will send him against a profane nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither does his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and to cut off nations, not a few, right? These individuals, the wicked that the Bible speaks of, Esau, Edom, these European powers, they're designed to be the cancer of the earth. They were not created to be the upright. This is the Heavenly Father's words, and we can see it manifest in real time and real life through history and documentation, right? This is not like we're making it up just to point a finger. There's all kinds of evidence to support this, even throughout other nations. They can support it as well. They have their own history of how these individuals, Esau, Edom, has came, conquered, and stolen lands, and they continue to manipulate the masses through their unrighteous laws and decrees. They're doing it right now as we speak, right? They're setting up, these data centers, mass surveillance to oppress the people. They're setting up the digital RFID chip. All these things, right? Let's go to, but the Heavenly Father, he's going to make this time short for the sake of the elect. And that's where we're going next. We're going this way. St. Matthew, chapter 24, verse 21. I already got it highlighted. He says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as hath not been from the beginning of the world until now, no, nor ever shall be. Right? So this current regime is falling out the bottom, collapsing, and they have already set up a replacement system that is going to be super oppressive and fully draconian, technocratic powers over the people, but for a very short duration of time. And that short duration of time, I can't put a time slot on it. I can't say 1 week, I can't say 3 weeks, I can't say 3 months, and I can't say 3 years, right? But this short period of time, only the Father in heaven knows. And in the midst of all these things, we'll be watching, as it is subscribed in the scriptures to watch and to be mindful of the times that we're in, and to always be ready and cognizant of these prophecies coming to pass, right? So we're not taken unawares. 22, and except those days had been shortened, no flesh would have been saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, right? Because we are not going to participate in these systems that are being set up around us. Abaratazah, he keeps that spirit upon us. that he's going to cut the days short for the sake of the elect. Otherwise, no flesh would be saved, right? People are just going to be succumbed to these oppressive regimes and bow the knee or bow the head to Esau, Edom, and wherever else, you know, you're scattered to take this system, right? We're gonna right, we're gonna take a look at Revelation, right? Because they're gonna force this regime on people in order to take the mark, so you can continue to, you know, purchase necessary resources, right? So if you don't partake in this new technocratic system and receive these digital implementations, you're not going to be able to continue buying your necessities like food and water and paying for things like this. So this is a form of deception, oppression, and strong arming people in order that they may rule over them. And ultimately, by taking this mark, you will ultimately be destroyed, right? This is what is written within the scriptures. Let's go to Revelation. Revelation chapter 13, and we'll get 16. I don't know if I have that highlighted. I don't. We'll highlight it right now. It says, and he causeth all, he causeth all, Esau, Edom, the small and the great, and the rich and the poor. This is everybody on the planet, and the free and the bond, that there be given them a mark on the right hand or upon their forehead, right? You are given this choice to either accept whatever they're offering as this mark of allegiance in order so that way you may what? Buy or sell, right? And that no man should be able to buy or sell save he have the mark, right? This mark is representative of taking an digital implementation. Right, let's go here. I already have it pulled up. Great, rich, small, poor, free, and bond to receive a mark. Here it is, charagma. Right, charagma. We tapped on the word mark. What this is defined as in the scriptures, it says a stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of followers of the Antichrist. This is an anti-Messiah system, right? And this is a stamp or an imprinted mark, okay? Let's not just stop there. Let's go into the root word, the etymology of what this word charagma means.
Strong's G 5480, charagma. Charagma.
Charagma, okay? Let's go into the root word. It says a pale or stake, a palisade or rampart, pales between which earth, stones, trees, timbers. Okay, so in other words, it has to be injected, right? Because a pale or a stake implies something that is piercing, right? A palisade. Has to be subdermally implanted within your body for you to partake in this new system. This is what they have developed, right? This is what they have engineered. Let's go to here, right? Let's go here. Okay, these are some patents that are already available on the market, locked and loaded, ready to be implemented in the new system upon the fiat currency collapsing, into which you will not be able to buy or sell, right? So it says implantable RFID chips patents cover biocompatible housing, remote telemetry, and biosensing functions. All right, that is out of my jurisdiction for me to describe what any of that stuff means, okay? But what it's ultimately saying is that this device is made to be implemented in a biocompatible housing, right? So it is a casing of some sort. This technology is encased inside of something, right? It's remote telemetry. So remote telemetry is something that is a sensor that feeds and receives information using this device, right? So let's just go down. Veritrip Digital Angel US patent. So this is the patent number for this in particular transponder, right? Injectable transponder, as you see right here. Injectable means to be subdermally implanted under your skin, right? Pale. You know, a palisade. So if you look at a needle, that needle with the sharp point and the little hole that where the whatever stuff comes out, medicine or whatever they call it comes out, that piece right there is called a palisade, right? And if you look at palisade fencing, right, you see like the fencing has these sharp edges at the top. This is a palisade, right? So is it the same as a needle? Let's go into the patent, right? This is a patent on what these electronic devices ultimately look like. These are the blueprints. So when you patent something, when you create something, right, you have to get it patented, and then that patent covers that that device, whatever you have created, so that way it can't be duplicated. And upon patenting a device, it then has to be in turn used for something. It has to be used in whatever that criteria calls for that device. So if there's a system that's going to be used to govern the masses into which they will buy or sell, there's already a device implemented on the market with a patent that's ready to be used, right? Right here it says a radio frequency identification system for use with active implantable medical devices, implemented in a patent comprised of interrogator and RFID tag comprising a substrate, an RFID chip, and an antenna, right? This is going to be readable, right? The RFID is typically enclosed in a biocompatible and hermetically sealed container, just like a gel capsule, like one of those pills that have turmeric or something in it. You know, that gel capsule is what this device is housed in, right? The RFID tag or sealed container may be affixed to an AIMD or surgical implanted in a patient adjacent to an AIMD. Okay, so we're not going to go through all that. The purpose is to show you that these things are already what's this picture about? Okay, so all right, so this one here looks like it could be used as the same as a heart monitor or something like that, you know, where it's a sensor. All right, let's go out of here. Let's go into this one. These are all patents for these devices. See, here's the patent number, you know, and this is a description of this device here, you know, and a Vivo FRD chip implanted in a patient's body comprising of integrated antenna formed on the chip and a CMOS compatible security adapted for biosensing and transmitting, right? So who is on the other side of this transmitter, and what are they ultimately receiving from you, right? What is this sensor? What is this device actually being used for? You know, that's something you may want to question yourself. So on the left side here is a computer brain, the CMOS, and then you have the sensors, right? The sensors will pick up the frequency in the environment, because I think they're going to go to 5G and maybe 6G and 10G and 10,000G to pick up these devices, who knows? Here's the computer chip that's inside of these implantable things. Here's the schematic for it, the blueprints, the layout, you know. Here's the here's all the chip information, smart dust. You can look up that information, smart dust. You know, these are technologies, right? That looks like the chip itself, right? So this is not far-fetched. This is to bring out some edification to those that are still on the fence about whether or not this RFID chip, this implantable thing, is actually the mark of the beast, into which the Bible talks about, whether when you take this thing, you will be destroyed, right? Because if we go into, let's go in here. Let's go back. We're going to go to Revelation chapter 14, and we'll pick up verse 11. Was it verse 11? No, we'll go to 9. It reads, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive the mark in his forehead or in his hand, right? Receive. What does receive mean? When you receive something, right? What does receive mean? Receive means lambano. This is the Greek for receive.
Strong's G 2983. Lambano. Lambano.
Lambano, okay? It's to take. To take, someone has to offer you something for you to receive it, right? So this is a physical taking a hold of something, right? This is not when you just believe in Christianity or believe in Buddhism and believe in these thoughts, right? These ultimately contribute to you being motivated to take this system, right? To take this mark, to take this chip, right? All these things support your decision to go and take these things, right? But nonetheless, upon physically taking this into your body, you are signed and sealed for destruction. This is what the scriptures tell us. It says to take with the hand. So you have to extend your hand to grab hold of something and say, I am with this. I am all about moving forward with what they have to offer me, right? And so if this idea, this concept of not physically taking a chip or something like that, right? Whether it be it's so or not, whatever you decide to receive from the system will land you in the lake of fire, okay? Just let that be known. So if there's anyone out there discrediting the idea of these RFID chip injectable implants being put under the skin as not the mark of the beast, whether or not you believe that or not, whatever you receive from this beast system, count it as a loss. I'll just leave it there. That's the best way to sum this all up, right? Your best bet is to turn your back 180 and start facing the east. To take with the hand, lay hold of it, any person or anything in order to use it. It's right there. Look, it's right there on the screen. To take up a thing to be carried, to take upon oneself, to take in order to carry away. This is a physical thing. You have to physically take hold of something, right? And it's not just what you're, the power of telekinesis, if you can do that. No, this is a physical removing and taking away. Without a notion of violence, i.e. remove, take away, to take what is one's own, to take to oneself, right? To take to oneself, that means to take something and bring it to you. That's claiming ownership of it, right? To claim, procure, all right? So you get the gist, right? Lambano. When you receive this mark, this lambano, let's go back. The same shall drink. This is the repercussion of what happens if you take this mark, right? We're telling you that the mark of the beast is the RFID implantable microchip, either inserted in your hand or the Neuralink chip that is put in your brain. So you can start moving the mouse all over the screen and having all those benefits and rewards from that too. But here's the reward that the Heavenly Father is going to deliver unto those that receive this mark of this new beast system. It says the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High. Now, this is not a strong drink, right? This is fury and terror and destruction of whatever he may muster up for you, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Indignation does not give me a comforting, inspiring feeling inside. It terrifies me to know that his indignation is for those that bow the knee to this beast system and to where you are defiled and you receive this stranger, this God's mark into your body, other than the Heavenly Father receiving his Ruach HaKodesh, holy, clean, pure spirit, and being set apart from this, right? Let's go here. You could read that. Without mixture, cup, indignation, torment with, and brimstone. Blah, blah, blah. What was I looking for? Where's it at? Oh, indignation. Indignation. Anger. The natural disposition, temper, character, movement, or agitation of the soul, impulse, desire, violent emotion. You stir the Father up to where you take this beat, this mark of the beast, you're going to be met with a violent emotion, right? This is just not some screaming and hollering at you. This is destruction and wrath, right? This is what we're reading here. So I prayed that this lesson was edifying unto the sincere elect. A change is going to come, right? And we must be ready for all things, but we are looking forward to the kingdom to come, and to where righteousness will reign upon the earth, and no more wickedness and lawlessness, and none of this stuff that we see coming into fruition. So with that, Tawada Abanawa Yahweh for another opportunity to bring forth some edification to the sincere sheep. And Shalom and Mawal Labawal. Shabbat.